I know I keep saying goodbye to you even though I keep pre-filming videos, you know. At least I have like some videos for a while, you know what I mean. So I'm going to be reading some more scary stories from this book. Sorry, I can't talk. Okay, so the first story is The Thing. Ted Martin and Sam Miller were good friends. They spent a lot of time together. On this particular night, they were sitting on a fence near the post office talking about one thing and another. That don't make any sense. One thing and another? Okay, well, whatever. There was a field of turnips across the road. Suddenly, they saw something crawl out of the field and stand up. It looked like a man, but it was dark. I'm sorry, I'm fumbling. It looked like a man, but in the dark it was hard to tell for sure. Then it was gone, but soon it appeared again. It walked halfway across the road, then turned around and went back into the field. Then it came out a third time and started toward them. By now, Ted and Sam were scared, and they started running, but when they finally stopped, they decided they were being foolish. They weren't sure what had scared them, so they decided to go back and get a better look. Pretty soon they saw it for it was coming to meet them. It was wearing black pants, a white shirt, and black suspenders. Sam said, "I'm going to try to touch it, then we'll know if it's real." He walked up to it and peered into its face. It had bright, penetrating eyes sunk deep in its head. It looked like a skeleton. Ted took one look and screamed, and again he and Sam ran, but this time the skeleton followed them. When they got to Ted's house, they stood in the doorway and watched it. It stayed on the road for a while, then it disappeared. A year later, Ted got sick and died. Toward the end, Sam sat up with him every night. The night Ted died, Sam said the night that Ted died, Sam said he looked just like the skeleton. So I guess the moral of that story is do not touch anything that you don't know what it is. Whether it's anything. Don't touch anything that you don't know what it is. Okay, the next one is called Cold as Clay. A farmer had a daughter from whom he cared more than anything on earth. She fell in love with a farmhand named Jim, but the farmer did not think Jim was good enough for his daughter. To keep them apart, he sent her to live with her uncle on the other side of the country. Soon after she left, Jim got sick and he wasted away and died. Everyone said he died of a broken heart. The farmer felt so guilty about Jim's death, he could not tell his daughter what had happened. She continued to think about Jim and the life they might have had together. One night, many weeks later, there was a knock on her uncle's door. When the girl opened the door, Jim was standing there. "Your father asked me to get you," he said. "I came on his best horse." "Is there anything wrong?" she asked. "I don't know," he said. She packed a few things and they left. She rode behind him, clinging to his waist. Soon he complained of a headache. "A headache, something terrible," he told her. She put her hand on his forehead. "Why, you are as cold as clay," she said. I hope you are not ill," and she wrapped her handkerchief around his head. They traveled so swiftly that in a few hours they reached the farm. The girl quickly dismounted and knocked on the door. Her father was startled to see her. "Didn't you send for me?" she asked. "No, I didn't," he said. She turned to Jim, but he was gone, and so was the horse. They went to the stable to look for them. The horse was there. It was covered with sweat and trembling with fear, but there was no sign of Jim. Terrified, her father told her the truth about Jim's death. Then quickly he went to Jim's parents. They decided to open his grave. The corpse was in its coffin, but around its head they found the girl's handkerchief. That's kind of scary in a way, but I mean, at least she got to see him one last time, I guess, even though that's weird. I'm not sure how long. Let's see. The White Wolf is next, and I don't know. We'll see how many I can get through. The timber wolves around French Creek had gotten out of hand. There were so many wolves, the farmers could not stop them from killing their cattle and sheep. So the state put a bounty on them. It would pay a hunter $10 for every wolf pelt he turned in. A butcher in town named Bill Williams thought that was pretty good money. He stopped working as a butcher and started killing wolves. He was good at it, Every year, he killed over 500 of them. That came to more than $5,000. It was quite a bit of money in those days. After 4 or 5 years, Bill had killed so many wolves there were hardly any left in the area. So he retired, and he vowed never to harm another wolf because wolves had made him rich. Then one day, a farmer spotted that a white wolf had killed 2 of his sheep. He shot at it and hit it, but the bullets didn't have any effect. Soon the wolf was seen all over the countryside, killing and running, but nobody could stop it. One night it came into Bill's yard and killed his pet cow. Bill forgot about his decision never to harm another wolf. He went into town the next morning and bought a young lamb for bait. He took it out to the hills and tied it to a tree. Then he backed off about 50 yards and sat down and waited under another tree with his gun in his lap. He waited. When Bill didn't come back, his friends started looking for him. Finally, they found the lamb. It was still tied to a tree. It was hungry, but it was alive. Then they found Bill. He was still sitting against the other tree, but he was dead. His throat had been torn open, but there was no sign of struggle. His gun hadn't been fired, and there were no tracks in the soil around him. As for the white wolf, it was never seen again. So every time I think of like a story like that, I always think of like skinwalkers or wendigos or something like that. So that's all that I'm gonna read in this video. I should go get a drink because I'm thirsty and my throat is so dry. But I will see you again because I'll probably pre-film a lot of videos. So I'll see you later.